this. So this is exciting. And so, hello everyone. I'm Soda, and I am here with Paula. We're going to talk
Hey
about
everyone.
an exciting subject. And so, first of all, Paula, do you want to talk about what you do? Because I know most of the people who are on my YouTube channel are creatives, or artists, writers, podcasters, musicians, all that. So,
Why did you kind of go soft? Like you were loud and then you went soft.
oh, really?
Oh,
Oh,
now you're
really?
back too high.
Okay. All right.
But all right. Hey everybody, I'm Paula, the host of Talk Shit with P and Shit Happens. Shit Happens is an umbrella under Talk Shit with P, and Talk Shit with P is where it's a safe space for creatives to come and share their creative journeys while sharing their mental health struggles, some tips, some quotas, and also me giving flowers to the amazing creators who are making a name out of for themselves, who are creating a brand, who are just out there hustling and grinding to be the best creators they can be while enjoying what they're doing. I know it's tough, I know it's hard, so I want to give you your flowers. I want to showcase your journey, and I want to share on the mental health struggles we have, because we don't talk about that as much, especially in the creative world. So let's talk about it. It's okay if you're struggling with your mental health. We are here to share what we are dealing with and give tips and tools of how we can get through them while also creating an incredible community that's going to support us while we're going through that. So, yeah.
And I was lucky enough to be on as a guest, so that was fun. We talked all about I don't remember what we talked about, but it was about mental health. It was about
It
mental health
was, and it was
and
also about
creativity.
actually maybe it's because I also edited this episode and put it out last week, so I kind of remember. But it was about us also. I had no idea of what the conversation I was gonna have with Soda when I made plans, and that's the thing about Shit Happens, right? On when I was recording for Talk Show with P, I would prepare, and then for Shit Happens, I think because also the name was Shit Happens, I would leave it until 2 hours before the episode to allow the creativity to come, and I would always get an idea. And as I was preparing for Soda's conversation with me, she had just texted me about not getting an opportunity she wanted,
Oh
and
yeah.
and that was like, oh wow, in the creative world, we don't talk about how many times we hear no before we hear yes. Some people are lucky they get yes on the first time or whatever, just like applying for jobs, whether it's a job you really wanted or it was a job that you knew was just going to help pay your bills, whatever it is. Sometimes we are lucky and we get it at the first stop, and sometimes we don't. There are those people who had to do some crappy jobs until they got their dream job, and there are those people who got their dream job on the first trial. So I wanted to focus on the no part, because no can be discouraging. No can make you wanna judge yourself, question the road you're taking, question if this is really what you wanna do. So we had a conversation of that, which was very amazing, because we talked about our core values and our purpose, and how that leads to how we accept the no's and how we move from the no's and everything. So yeah, it was an amazing conversation. I enjoyed it. And I
I
learned
thought it
about
was great
chip.
too.
I learned about chip that day.
Yes, chip to be silly. Um, so that conversation actually kind of leads to about, which is stepping out of your comfort zone, because we do have to step out of our comfort zone in order to get those no's and our yeses. And so for that situation, I had applied to be a part of a pretty big YouTube channel episode. Um, it was about like AI and stuff, and I had been really wanting to be on that one
I don't know
because
why your statics keep going in and out. What are
oh
you
really?
using? What are you using as your audio? Are you just using your
Yeah,
headphones?
my headphones.
Ah, they keep like 1 minute you're very low, and then the next minute you're high, and then the next minute you're low, and
Ah,
then you're high.
let me try switching them out. Let me know
How
how
many do
it
you have?
tries. I I lose them a lot. So, is this any
Oh
better?
yes. Oh yes.
It's better.
Fuck yeah, way better. Can I cuss in here? I
Oh,
don't know,
okay.
cause
I don't know. I don't know how strict. I think with YouTube, it's like you can't cuss in the first like couple minutes, but it's been over 5 minutes, so um, I don't know,
by the way, Soda,
but
I'm gonna need you to yesterday, by the way, for those who don't know, Soda runs a room called Empowered Podcasting Room every Friday night at 9 p.m. And yesterday I really was dealing with migraine period pains. Like I didn't show up for my Friday night. I didn't participate. I watched them and I was supporting on the comments, but my head was not in the right space to be part of it. So that's why
mhm.
I was able to also join. And I'm glad because I didn't know your dad was finally coming because we've been wanting your dad since I was a moderator. So to be able to just say, let me pop in and to find out was the conversation that was happening, it was so nice. But I need you to I don't know if you can since you're a moderator or if you need to ask Mark, but I need you to give me that audio because I'm gonna send it to Chris so he can listen.
Okay. Yeah, I think
Because
because
that
I'm the
your
one that
dad,
opened the room, I should be able to download that
yeah, because
audio.
that's literally your dad's resume right there. And also you can use that as some part of clips for him because I know he has his own show coming up, his YouTube, but also for him to use or you were also kind of I know Alex was asking most of the questions, but you were also kind of interviewing your dad, so you can also use some of those clips and share. But it was such an amazing conversation, and I'm glad. I figured the reason it happened this weekend because you told me your parents were in town, so maybe you were finally able to get your dad to be able to get on Clubhouse. Because last time there was some issue about network or him speaking. I don't know what
Yeah,
happened.
I think the internet was bad.
Yeah,
Um
so but yeah, please let's make that happen. Okay, back to you. I'm sorry, I'm taking over.
No, it's okay. Yeah, my dad's the one that really he taught me a lot, like, about like, he would send out so many resumes, so many interviews, and for me, I hate applying for jobs. I hate doing any of those things, and I think that's very common for artists to just, like,
No,
we
and no
want things to
offense.
come to us.
And no offense to your dad, but I was so happy when he said, "Oh, I never could get Paul McCartney," and that's one part. I was like, "Thank God," because every person he was mentioning, he was around. I was like you, excuse me, the jealousy. You know how you getting jealous about a person who's way older. So of course he was around this time. Like you weren't even some. When you were struggling, you weren't even born in this world. Like there was not even existence that Paula will be in this world. But so it was like, oh my God, you were around this. When he said, oh, when they were shooting the first episode of Friends, or when they were doing this, and I was like, and then when he said I couldn't get Paul McCartney because I'm a big fan of Paul McCartney, so I was like, thank God at
Oh.
least one person that I fucking love, he didn't get to him, so
We
it was
did go
alright.
to a concert of his together once,
Yeah, but we are talking about
but we
him.
didn't, like,
Yeah,
meet him.
yeah. So that's the part I'm talking about. Like going to a
Yeah.
concert, that's fine. Like you can go to as
Yeah,
many
you're with,
concerts as
like,
you want.
thousands and thousands of other people. But yeah, so he's pretty cool. He's worked with a lot of cool people, and I don't know on YouTube Live how to tell, like, if, like, who's like, when people comment or whatever, like,
I can see. Can I see comment? Live
I've never done
chat.
that. I've never
Yeah, you
done.
can see them. Welcome to live chat. Yeah, I only know
Oh.
there were two people watching. Now there's one person.
Oh.
Um, Yeah,
I'm still
I put the live chat. Nobody's typing yet, so
okay.
I don't see. But yeah, let's get to
Okay.
the topic. What was the topic today?
We're talking about stepping outside of our comfort zone. So even that, like, even with the podcasting evening chat that I help host, that you sometimes help host too, had me take over, like, even things like that, like, that's always nervous for me to be somewhat in charge of anything. I've been trying to host these rooms on Clubhouse and Instagram lives and stuff, and every single time before I go live, I get so nervous. Like, it's terrifying for me. But it's interesting because, like, the more that I do these things that are terrifying for me, I feel like it actually helps a lot with my mental health. Like
It it does.
it's surprising how, like, me doing this thing that's terrifying that gives me all this anxiety can actually, like, even so recently, I told you how I went to the um, Canva Create Summit, and I didn't know anyone. I went all by myself. It was this stressful thing. It didn't end up being very it wasn't.
Wait. The day you called me wanting to asking if I'm free to talk, that was the Canva event you went to?
Yeah, that was a
Okay,
Canva
I
event.
wasn't sure which event you went to.
Yeah, and I was, like, so excited for it because I love using Canva, and it ended up being this total flop.
And you
But
were that before even the event, you kept on mentioning it. You kept on giving people the
yeah,
code to be virtually present. To
yeah,
yeah, you were very excited about that.
yeah, and yeah, I was terrified to go by myself because everyone, like, most of the other people who went, they went with someone. But just, like, me stepping outside of my comfort zone, going to this thing, and it's like if you don't try these new things and you don't create these stories like you were talking about, because I'm like, all right, I need something positive to take from this thing that ended up being a flop. And you're like, oh well, I mean, now you learned from it, you have this story, and you can't, like, learn from things if you never actually do the thing. So I didn't know if you had any stories like that. I mean, you've moved across the world, so like, moving is a huge thing for stepping outside of your comfort zone. I've just moved, like, across the country. You've moved across the world, so I didn't know if you wanted to share any stories about that.
Yes, and you were talking about. I'm gonna get to that, but you were talking about comments, and there's Scott.
Ooh,
Shout out
New
to Scott
Mexico.
Lola who says hi from New Mexico. Hi Scott, and if you have a story about stepping out your comfort zone, please share it in the comments. Would love to hear about it. But it's funny and, and I think this is funny because anytime you hit me up to come last minute live and the topic is always something either I literally just experienced or was thinking about. Because today I woke up and I was editing my book. Like, really, I was like, okay, Paula, let's get into this book. Like, I'm determined to finish my book this weekend and have everything set. So I'm here sitting and writing, and it came to a chapter where I was talking about being comfortable. Because in Tanzania, when I was growing up, my dad had already made a name of himself, right? And then my dad, my uncle, and my uncle's wife were all working in the government. My dad has only one brother. So there are two people. So when you say my last name, and my last name is not a common last name compared to other African last names, because my great grandfather decided he didn't like the last name and he changed it. That's why our last name is kinda not an African last name. So when you say Mula Mula, it's not like, hey you, where you going? So it's never like when you say other surnames, there's so many, even though they don't know each other, because it's a common African culture last name. So when you talk about my last name, it's specific and people know you. So I grew up in a city where my dad my uncle and my aunt had already made the names for themselves because they worked in the government, right? So our name was already known. So anything I did would always end up reflecting back to them. Oh, that's a Mula Mula kid. Oh, that's, they wouldn't care which Mula Mula, but they would still know it's a Mula Mula kid, right? So, despite that, and I was writing this in my book, and I was saying, I'm so grateful for my damn. Summer is really out here. I don't know why I wanted to sit outside. You want to sit outside, but then you forget about the bugs and the insects and everything. But I was writing in my book, and I was like, I'm grateful that my dad did allow me to express and be whoever I am, right? So when we talk about stepping out of our comfort zone, the first time was, and this is weird because I left Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and went to school in Uganda, and that still felt okay because it was still in Africa, it was still in East Coast, like it wasn't so far. So I didn't feel so out of my comfort zone, especially since Uganda and where my dad's tribe comes from is literally a border, which the language interjects, the culture, the everything. Even though I hadn't been to my dad's village and tribe, in because my grandparents were in that, I still got to live in that. My grandmother would call you by name, and if you don't answer in a traditional way, she'll keep calling you. You can answer yes, or in Swahili, she will still keep calling you until you answer it in the tribe language. So that was our way of teaching us how to talk, whether you might talk or not, but at least certain things. So it didn't feel like I was really stepping out of my comfort zone until I literally left Tanzania and moved to UK, because that was the first country I moved to. And mind you, we used to travel every holiday before we finally moved to UK. We used to move to Geneva. I mean, for holidays, Christmas, would go a lot to Geneva, and then Geneva would spend in Europe, like France and Italy, because you can take a train. We used to go to London. So I've been to those places as holiday, but when you're on holiday, you don't really pay attention, right? Because you're just here for 2 weeks to have fun with your cousins and your family and enjoy the lives, and you're going back to your friends where you can tell them all the amazing shit you did while you were in America, in Europe or whatever. But once we moved, and now that my lifestyle had to kind of change, right? Because I wasn't doing the same shit I was doing. There was no maid to come pick me up from school. I had to learn to use the train and to go to certain places because we couldn't afford a maid. And that's when I also realized that we might have been middle class in Tanzania, where I thought we were middle class, but when we moved to UK, we were poor. 'Cause to afford a maid and everything requires all this, and we're talking about pounds. So that's when I really had to get out of my shell, and I realized that I was comfortable in Tanzania because most of my friends, I really didn't have to make them as friends. I had brothers and sisters who took me around, and you just hang out. I hanged out with my brother's friends, my sister's friends, my younger. So people knew me because either they knew my sister, my dad, so it was easy to make friends without making friends. And then you go into this country where now you really have to define your character. Who are you without your people? Like, you have to walk up to people and introduce you, and then, oh, they speak proper English, because in Tanzania we all speak English, but there are those people you can tell, okay, they didn't go to international school, because not every parent can afford international school. So you can tell an international scholar to government scholar, right? Because of the English, what they study, what they talk about, and everything. But then in UK, I was feeling like I'm the broken English person, right? Because I had an accent and I had the English we were taught with whoever we were taught with and everything. And that was the first time I ever felt out of place, even though, even growing up in Tanzania, I was a tomboy. I wasn't like the girly girl. I wasn't the pretty girl that people fond about. But I was the girl that the guys like hanging out with because I'm always cool. You know, I drink beer, I chill, like I hang out. Well, at that age, I didn't drink beer, so let's not. But I was always the homeboy, right? And now I'm in this new country where I don't know if I have to be pretty enough, if I'm pretty enough, if I speak the right English, if I can talk properly. How do I make friends? Will people like me? So I really had to get out of my comfort zone. And I that's when I also knew I was a shy person. Because back home I thought I was talkative, but it was around people who already knew me, right? So whenever you're around people who knew you, who have watched you grow up, or seen you grow up, or your family, you know, your cool uncles and shit, you're always gonna feel like you talk so much because you already know them. And then you move into this country where you literally constantly have to tell people about your country, or people have questions about, do they do this in Africa? And the fact that they ask you about a continent, not just your country, because you know, again, we come to that, like Africa is a continent, not a country. So it's
Yeah.
like I am constantly having to teach and explain and also learn. And yo, it was hard, painful, because also at that age, who am I supposed to talk to that can actually understand? Because all my friends are still back in Tanzania. They can't relate. And the friends who I know in America who our family knows each other, and we ended up being friends, were either already born in UK, right? They used to come to Tanzania for holidays. So yes, they get that part, but they are comfortable in UK. They understand because when they went to Tanzania, they had to play the role I'm playing right now, like catch up, like learning things, but they were not really helpful. So I think being at that age and having to go through that, that's when I literally set myself in a position that I never ever wanna be uncomfortable, because I was really uncomfortable and I hated it. Because when you're in such an uncomfortable place, even when these things are not happening around you, you feel like everybody's looking at you. People are judging you. Like you just think like, why are they looking at me? They might think I'm dressed like an old person. They might think I look like a boy because I have low cut, like I cut my hair. They might think I might be all, you know, all these thoughts, but they probably are not even paying attention to you. You're probably invisible to them, right? But these are just thoughts that are going to an end. And I hated that. And I think that's why I'm so quick about making friends and getting myself out of comfort zones, or putting myself, all my friends, in uncomfortable situations. That way we get comfortable so quick that we don't have those thoughts.
You
Like
are pretty good at putting people in uncomfortable
Like you at
situations.
Podfest, I got you. I was like, okay, but I don't want you to just hang on with me, because you're not gonna have your own experience. You're gonna have Paula's version of Podfest experience. So I made sure you got a place to sit in the first room we went. I introduced you to people and I left you. Then I took you to where Mark was. Then after that, I just left you to roam around, but I was still like texting you or anything, because if you had kept on riding with me, you would have had my experience, not yours. You had to have yours,
That's true.
and sometimes you have to dive in deep. That way, because I'm an overthinker. If I don't dive in deep, I start thinking, what if, and that just ends up ruining your experience, ruining the moment, wasting it. But it took me being left alone in UK where nobody knows me, nobody knows the Mula Mulas. Who the fuck are the Mula Mulas? Like, first of all, they can't even pronounce your last name, and you're trying, I was where I literally had to get comfortable in all these places where culture shock, different cultures, different raising, our parents don't raise us the same, different. There's some things which literally were the same, like, oh damn, we could have grown up in the same place. And there's some things like, damn, you do all that? Like, I didn't even know that shit existed. So I have been there, and I learned the hard way, or maybe I chose to, because I never wanted to be there, and I was like, I'm never going to be there. And that's why I constantly tell people I like making people uncomfortable, because it's the easiest way to get people out of their comfort zone.
Did I tell you about when I moved to Puerto Rico?
No.
So I had always been someone who had to have everything planned out. And then end of college in California, like everything just fell apart. My internship fell apart. Like nothing was working out. So I ended up moving to Utah.
Shit happens.
I know. And I was just like, I was really, really depressed, really depressed. And so I ended up in Utah. And I was like, I hate it here. It has this creepy, icky white stuff that falls down. Like, it got cold. I don't like this. So my sister and I just moved to Puerto Rico. Like, our Spanish isn't very good, or we didn't have jobs lined up. We're just.
Where was the conversation that made you guys?
Well, she had a dream. She's like, I had this dream that we lived in Puerto Rico. I'm like, I don't even know where Puerto Rico is. Like, I thought it was in Central America. I didn't even realize that it was part of the US. And like at this point, I had been like basically homeless. Like I was just living off other people's couches and crashing places. Like nothing was working out. So we go to Puerto Rico, we get an apartment there, and like there nothing worked out either. It was just big culture shock, even though it's like still part of America, but it was just things were very, very different there. And like I ended up getting all my savings stolen, and big fee for
Stolen?
So it was a situation where my sister, I didn't realize she still had access to my credit card because she was using it for a while. When I would be at home in Utah, I would be at home and she would go use my credit card to like pick things up for me. And I gave her access to use it. She was on the list to be able to use it. So when we were in Puerto Rico, she went to get a car without telling me. I didn't even realize she still had the car. She got a car and crashed it. And I got hit with a $10,000 fee. And I was like this, I just got out of college. I had very little money. And now I had this $10,000 fee. I was unemployed. I was living in Puerto Rico. Like that was like when I was the most like suicidal ever. I was just like, I can't, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. Like, how am I supposed to pay this off? I had to pay my student loans off. That was $150 a month. Like,
What
I don't
did
know
your
what to do.
sister say about it? Like, what did she do about it?
Oops, I'll pay you back. Sorry, my bad.
So serious question. How did you end up getting yourself out of that? Because you said you were suicidal, and this is me applying your dad, because your dad yesterday said if somebody is sharing a sad story, dig deeper. Don't ask the questions you already had prepared, and go deeper with that and let the story fall. You see, your dad already inspiring here and motivating me to be a better interviewer. So how did you get yourself out of that position? Because you said you were suicidal, and for all those who don't know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, so I'm glad that we are kind of venturing into this.
That's why, like, I think it relates a lot to the topic, because what happened was, so the apartment I was living in before there was a little girl who fell off the balcony and died. And so, like, her ghost was, like, there, like, and I remember just sitting on that same balcony, like, I'm like, "I wish I could just jump right now." Like, I just and I was thinking of it, and, I was like, you know, I don't think things could get much worse than they are right now. Like, I have nothing, I'm about to get evicted from this apartment, I don't know where I'm gonna live, like, I have nowhere, I don't have a home. My family is all over, like, I don't know where I'm gonna go. And um, I just had this thought in my head, like, move to this specific location and just apply for things, just do things, just, kind of like Hail Mary it, like, every day, do something that you're like, well, I might die tomorrow anyway, so might as well just give things a shot. So, I moved to this I had to, like, stay with my parents for about a month, and then, I got offered back this job that I was working before. They're like, "Oh, we have some new projects for you, so you could come here." So, it was enough that I was able to afford an apartment with another family member, and, like, half my paycheck was going towards this $10,000 fee, which was getting even more and more because I had to pay, like, interest and everything else. And my sister was unemployed, so she was, like, not able to pay me, and I just started not caring anymore. I'm
But
just
what
like,
was your sister was unemployed? I get that we all get unemployed, but what was making her not getting a job to fucking pay for for her
she
mistakes?
would, like, get these jobs, but then get fired and then get another job, and her life was, like, a total mess, like, she was a single mom, and her life was a mess, and she just kind of was in denial that like, she felt bad, but sometimes, when you feel bad about things, like, you kinda try to turn it around to make yourself the victim, so you feel less guilty, that's kinda what she did, and so
I feel bad,
I
but look at
hated her.
me. I am a single mother. I don't have a job. At least you have this and you have this. So get off
Yeah.
me and let me. I am
I'm like,
trying
"Why are
the
you
best I
so bitter still? It's in the past." And, like, half my paycheck is going towards your, like, thing, you know? Like, and I didn't qualify for theft because, again, she was on the list and of, like, people who could use my card,
can. Of
even though I thought I had
course.
can't like, I should have canceled that card. I should have been paying attention, you know?
We
So, I
live
mean,
and
I
we
did have fault.
learn.
Yeah. Yeah, I learned a $10,000 lesson. Um, and, well, it was more than that because then I had to, like, buy
Interest
the
and shit. It's more than
yeah, and
10,000.
even just leaving that apartment that we got evicted from, it was like a $600 ticket to fly back to,
Why
I
were you
ended up
guys evicted?
because we couldn't afford to pay rent. They just assumed that we had lots of money because we were white, I guess, like, and then we get
There got some white privilege because I'm sure some
yeah,
black ass people would have been asked for like
there
double proof and some shit and some shit.
there was definitely white privilege there, like, everyone treated us totally different because they're like they just all assumed that we had money, and the police there were so many police there, and, like, the police were all doing, like, selling drugs and stuff, super corrupt, like, all they cared about was, like, making sure the white people were, like, safe, so they would come back and spend money there, like and that's when
Eh,
it,
eh,
like, really clicked how much there was, like, white privilege there.
And that's why I love you, Soda, right? Because okay, this might go off, but I don't want to talk
You're
deep
right.
about this. We're gonna go back to what it is, but I also have to bring this up because there's a lot of us who have white friends who won't realize or acknowledge that white privilege is there. or even admit that, yo, this was in fact a white privilege. So I appreciate you for always willing to say that, and always willing to have conversations, because what people might not know is, out of social media, like me and you, we I think you're one of my, literally, you went from the last person I got to know from Empowered Podcasting Room, but to the most person I talked to from the Empowered Podcasting Room. Me and you, literally,
Aw.
we might either text each other either every day, and then on the weekends it gets slow, which I get, because weekends, family, friends, loved ones. But on weekdays, I'm pretty sure we text each other at least once every day. But
Yeah.
and we check on each other, we share things, we share information, and sometimes you literally ask me certain things because either you don't get it, or you understand it, or you even question why these motherfuckers like not getting it, cause so I love the fact that you always are willing to have conversations, to ask, to learn, to question, and to be open about that. And most of us need more white friends like you said.
Aw, that made me feel good. Because I think a lot of it does have to do with, like, me moving so many times and living mostly in areas where it's like, um, being white is a minority, um, and, like, seeing how people react. There'll be, a group of people, and they all, like there'll be a group of Black people all, together. I come over, and suddenly they're, like, kind of standoffish, like, "Is this gonna be a Karen? Like, what did she get? Like, is she"
And they're
I could
scared. They're like, are they going to say we raped her? Are they going to shout we are trying to kill her? Because
mhm.
even though they're like, you're just trying to make friendship, and that sucks that this is the life we have come to live. Because,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying this is only on white people, I know Black people have their own shit, but a bunch of
Mhm.
times white girls who have fights with their Black boyfriends, especially when their parents already say you can't see them, and then they get caught, they always turn it into a rape case or a kidnapping case or
Yeah.
something and all that. And now it feels like that's why the Black people always get a little skittish when a white girl is hanging around them. Like, will I be the next
Yeah.
case? Do they really like hanging out with me? Like, it's so hard because they want to be genuine, but they also are not sure if they're setting their lives up to spend a lifetime in jail. But that's also comes to that whole topic about comfort zones and shit, right? Where the rigid people like you, white people like you, who really just wants to be part of the society, the community, to just get to know the neighbors. But when you show up, and it takes a lot of guts to
Yeah.
take yourself as a white woman, and I'm sorry to say this, but it's the truth. Sometimes when I see so many Black people hanging out on the streets, I pretend I'm talking on the phone just because of the stereotypes of shit we've had. And I didn't grow
Mhm.
up in America, so I only know America from what I see from the movies or from the news and everything. Yes, I'm not saying I'm perfect or anything, but that's the reality. Where even when I see a person wearing full on black and shit coming close to me, of course I'm gonna hold my purse a little close and
Yeah.
shit, because it's what I had. It's not because I'm. And it doesn't matter if you're white or black. If I just see a footsteps behind me and you're dressed in a funky way, like, I am
Yeah.
catching. I don't care whether you're white, blue, black, down, whatever. But also, us black people tend to have this angry masculine face, which makes it like, that's why I tell people, just smile to people, because
Mhm.
sometimes smiling makes people a little bit less anxious and comfortable. So You are dressed up in whatever, but you enter and you give a smile or ask, "How was your day?" Like a little something. It's gonna make somebody leave. But if you're full on black shit, whatever, and you have a mean ass face and you enter looking like you're about to kill me, I don't care whether you're white or black. I'ma get uncomfortable. Like, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But it's also like walking down the streets and us hanging around. Even if I walk around the neighborhood and there are all these white teenage boys, it's not like white teenage boys don't do the same shit black
Yeah.
teenage boys do, is hanging out, calling you, whistling, all that. I'm still gonna put on my headphones and pretend I'm on the phone,
Yeah.
right? Because there's still that disrespect on the streets that make people uncomfortable. So there's certain things which are more not of the race, and there's certain things which are built up because of what the race is done or brought to the society. And it's just a shame, and that's why I guess certain people will still be comfortable in their comfort zone and be ignorant, because sometimes being in our comfort zones make us very ignorant because we are so used. Like, I remember my first job and I got excited, but it was a sales job and I hated it. And I realized I can never be a salesperson because I realized, imagine selling an old woman who has grown up through uh, broadband, AOL dial up, like, and then you're trying to sell them Wi Fi and shit.
Yeah.
There are old people, really, their mind doesn't switch on shit. They don't care about your new smartphones. They don't care about WhatsApp. They're okay with their flip phones. They're okay. They still have landlines. Call me on my landline at 7 o'clock every Friday night. I will be on. So trying to change their mind and selling them shit, you already know you're hitting a brick wall.
Yeah.
So there are those people who are in that comfortable place where you can't do shit. You just have to allow that. And then there are those people who are in their comfort zone because they're scared of the outside, because the outside has become so, everything is racial. Like
Yeah.
nothing is no longer a joke or a moment. Like gone are the days where you can make jokes about things. Like right now, people are watching back old shows that we used to laugh at, and everybody's posting them saying, "Oh my God, do you know how toxic this is after you've
Yeah.
gone?" So it's like everything these days is becoming exhausting because it requires an explanation, a reasoning behind. So there's some people are staying in that comfort zone because this new world is exhausting.
Yeah.
Gone are the days where you could just tweet shit and it be shit, but now it's used against you if you decide to run about shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you could find, like, if you go back a couple years, like some of the stuff that I've said, I'm like a totally different person now. And so it makes me scared to
Oh, I told people I'm so grateful that because back in the days when I was in Malaysia, I was a wild child when I was in Malaysia, and Twitter was my safest place. Because back in the days when I was in Malaysia, Twitter was the place to be. Nobody gave a fuck. People were like all full on vibes and vibes and vibes. Like that was before even Instagram started coming up, and then Instagram came up, and Instagram still wasn't that big. Like Twitter was that big. And
yeah.
my handle was biker chick. I was a biker chick who would get high and play Lil Wayne and just tweet some Lil Wayne lyrics. Anybody who used to know me back then would call me biker chick. Like literally, I'll be out in the clubs and people would be like, "Biker chick! Oh my God!" Because I tweet a shit. But do you think I'll be able to do that in this age right now and me being a podcaster and building a brand? Fuck no. Because I know for a fact, as soon as because God knows my brand is going to be up there. Once it makes it up there, people going to look for those tweets and stuff. So thank God to Twitter, where when you end up shutting down your Twitter, and if you don't open it after 3 months, they shut it down for good. So Biker Chick died, and I used to have so much followers. I used to, like, if I go right now and tweet, who remembers Biker Chick days? Like, the amount of people would say some shit, it's ridiculous, because I was that
You were
bitch on
like a
Twitter.
Twitter celebrity.
I was, and I'm so glad that that account is closed and done, because the way Talk Shit with P is heading, that would have been. And ever since then, when I realized how people now don't use Twitter like how we used to, everything becomes like a personal attack or explanation, or I only tweet when I really need to tweet, or when I can stand on that shit if it comes out years from now. I'm very careful when I tweet.
Yeah.
But that also still gets you in your comfort zone, because you're not daring yourself, right? Because stepping out of your comfort zone is daring yourself. But we live in a world that even if we choose to dare ourselves, we are putting ourselves in positions of being attacked.
Yeah.
And people these days are choosing peace over, like, okay, my close friends can know who I am. Fuck the rest, because why put myself in that position when all I'm gonna, like, it's a tough situation. And I'm a person who says always be your authentic self, but sometimes that means in public you just have sometimes to just shut your mouth. Like, if you know what you're gonna say is gonna not bring peace to your life, even though you stand by
Yeah.
it, just close your mouth, don't answer. So sometimes I look at posts and I really wanna say some shit, because I'm like, what the fuck? But then I'm like, yo, this won't bring peace to myself. So there's also that line of not being on your like, you wanna be on your uncomfort zone, but you also are choosing peace, because the world these days judges you for every motherfucking thing.
And you don't want to turn into Chip and just be like a total asshole.
I mean,
and
we,
not...
we can bring you business, because that's how you get business. Because if all of us decide to create personas to represent us, like, that's my persona. Create. By the way, can you create a polar persona? Like, I would want to see how a polar persona would be, like a person who lives out of a comfort zone and just says, like, I already live out of my comfort zone, even though sometimes I still kind of stick closer to the line. But and I also most of the time say most of the shit I'm thinking, otherwise I'll come to you and say, this is what I really wanted to say, but I say this. Because sometimes, just for the piece of it, you're like, you choose your battles, right? Like, do I really want to go into this, or like, I already know them and they're so ignorant to me at this point that it doesn't even fucking matter. So I think I need you to create a polar persona for that, like the bitch that I could do it, but if I couldn't, this bitch got you.
Sorry, I guess my little one just woke up, so
At least you were able to get her to sleep.
yeah.
And we had a whole almost 50 minutes.
Yeah, that was pretty good. And if anyone
And
wants
if
to
I
know
didn't have
Chip's
to go
story,
get beer, and if I didn't have to go get beer, we would have had already an hour. Cause yeah, she's been sleeping for a minute.
yeah. Or I guess she's stirring. She's gonna wake up soon, so she's not quite awake yet.
So you have time to conclude
yeah, to like
this.
wrap up. My husband was just
So we'll probably be getting a persona.
Yeah, we could figure it out. We could figure out
like your Chip. Now we need a Paula's Chip. I don't know. We'll call her Sima, because I feel like Sima brings that.
I have lots of personalities though, so like I have lots of little different personas. that's like
That's
for
why
different
I,
things.
I need to have like a round table session. I think I'm gonna start bringing after June, because I tend not to work in June, but from July I'm bringing back Shit Happens, and I'm gonna turn it into like a red table talk kind of thing. So I
Mm.
need to bring you, Sonic, and I need to find one other person who's into Persona. So I need it to always be like a 4 group, and I'll be doing like that table talk once a month, and then I'm gonna bring back Shit Happens, but once a week at a set time, compared to last time
Yeah.
where sometimes I would have 4 sessions in a day. That was it was exciting but draining.
And that's a little bit of how I am able to get outside of my comfort zone because I have my extrovert personality. Her name is Haley, and she is an extrovert. And
You pick the most whitishest names
it's because
ever.
that's because I am white.
I
It's
mean, no,
because
I know you're white,
it's because
bitch.
a lot of
What?
people think my name is Haley because it's Holly. And then people are like, Haley, right? So I just made Haley my extrovert self.
But I
So
also like that your daughter is called Ember, but you spell it with an E, not an A. So I fuck with that more now.
and I like
But yo,
how
I'm sorry,
yeah,
Ember is a stripper name. Like I don't know. I see Ember as a white stripper. I don't know why. I don't know.
yeah, it was fun because like I never really heard that name much until like after she was born, and then suddenly it became super popular. Because again, I named her after like a black wrestler, but
And that's why I was shocked when you said that. I was like, wait, what did you say? Like you
yeah.
in my head I'm thinking such a white name and you named it after a black race. But it's funny because when you say, and this is also kind of part of getting out of your comfort zone, like even when you realize, when you Google something and you go on your social media platforms, you start seeing those advertisements. When you when you find a car on the road and you like it, or you're shocked you have never seen it, then you start seeing it in
Yep.
so much. So it's always like, when you don't pay attention, even if it's in front of you, you can't see it. It might have been around you.
Yeah, but also I looked at the charts and the year that she was like born, it like skyrocketed up to in
Mm.
popularity. Or like the year, it wasn't the year she was born, it was the year we were planning our names.
Mm.
Um and like we planned the name and then we looked up and like the next year after we planned her name, it like skyrocketed. So I'm like,
Speaking of that, you're supposed to read my birth chart. I'm just saying.
oh, you need to send it to me.
You didn't ask me
I
what to
I
send
sent
to you.
you
What am I
no, I
supposed
sent
to
you a
send?
link to the
You just
website
sent.
and then you
eh,
fill it out and then you send it to me.
You didn't say that. You just sent a link, and I was like, okay. You didn't
Yeah,
say any
so
of that.
fill out that thing so I don't, in case you
Send
want to
it to me
keep
again
your
on Threads,
private
and
information.
send
Um,
me. Oh fuck!
what did you do? Did you spill it all over yourself?
I wish I broke a bracelet that came all the
No.
way from Tanzania from my aunt. I call her the Big Lucifer. She also gave me this ring, and I've never taken. No,
Mm.
she gave me this. This ring was from one of my friends in Florida. She gave it to me from her, but she gave me this bracelet, the silver one, and inside it says
Mm.
it's a mental health uh podcast. I mean, it's a mental health bracelet. It says keep fucking going. So from the
Aw.
day I put it on, I've never taken it out. The ring and the bracelet came on the same year for my birthday, and they've never left my finger since the day I put them on. I sleep with them, I shower with them, I do everything with them.
I always keep mine on too. They aren't as sentimental though. They're just like crystals that have energies. I have
Oh yeah,
rose.
crystals with energy. You gotta keep that on.
Hmm. Yeah, got rose quartz for creativity and love and that kind of stuff. Hematite for grounding, and then soda lights. That's my favorite because it has my name in it, and also it's awesome, and that helps with like coming up with ideas and being innovative and stuff. So I like them.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah, I need to do a whole podcast about crystals and how to use them in creativity. I think that'll be fun.
Yeah, and I think you and Jack need to collaborate. I've
I
even
know.
told
I've
you
been
guys.
wanting to. I want to, but she is so popular and already has a long list. And
No,
she's
trust
been
me.
busy to get onto
She
my podcast.
she has been slacking on creativity. She took a time off. She wasn't
Yeah,
feeling it. But
yeah.
she reached out to me the other day. We were talking because she decided she's gonna be going to empowered podcasting. So she
Oh,
wanted
the
to let
event.
yeah.
Yeah. I really want to collab with her on a podcasting because
Know if I still needed a ride, she's now going.
okay, all right. I wish I could go.
Oh my god, I was able to make it, but I feel like anytime I end up wearing it because it's so tiny.
Why did your screen go black?
I was receiving a call. How
Oh,
do I
okay.
get it back?
I don't know. I don't know. But I guess I have to probably head out anyway, but I wanted to say bye to you and not a black screen.
Am I back?
Nope, I don't see you. I don't see you.
Oh my god. Hold on. Do you see anything?
Mm-mm. You are still invisible.
So how do I do this? Can I leave and come back or what do I do?
I'm not sure. Yeah, you could try that. So we could say our ending thing.
Okay, I'm gonna cancel this and reopen it. But
Okay.
I hope, fingers crossed, I hope that works.
Okay.
But good thing we're almost done with the conversation,
Yeah, it was a good
regardless.
conversation. All right. We'll see if it looks for Paula to come back. Otherwise, I think she could just use the same link. There we go. Oh, there we go.
It took me out and I came back.
Awesome. Well, I could see you great now. But yeah, I loved our
This is how
conversation.
beautiful Atlanta looks today
I
after
love Atlanta.
I slept until midday when the cleaners came to clean our apartment because it was raining and it was beautiful. And yesterday I hung out with shout out to Amanda Russo, my podcast family. She was on the call with us, but my friend came and we were hanging out until midnight. And as soon as I went to sleep, I did not wake up until the noon today. Like I had a
Whew.
good sleep. And as there was cleaning, I was doing my book, I was editing my book and working on my book. It's been a good day, y'all.
Yay! Awesome. Well, it was fun. It was fun. I liked our conversation, and we'll have to do this again sometime. I thought this was going to be a lot scarier than it was doing a
So
YouTube
wait,
live.
since I kind of missed your wins yesterday and Empower didn't have a win in the morning, what were your wins?
Oh, I was just saying my win was my family coming for the weekend.
Oh, that's amazing. Yes, so that does have a family in for the weekend. When do they leave?
Tomorrow morning.
Nice. So what's the plan for
Yeah.
tonight?
I don't know, just hang out. We just got back. We went to this really cool library. It's like it's really cool. Um, like yeah, it's like the coolest library I've ever been to. They had an aquarium, they had this like dinosaur model thing. They had like you just like I don't know. It's really cool. I wish all libraries were like that. Um, so yeah, we thought we would check out a new library because we didn't want to go all the way to Disneyland. So yeah.
I mean, oh yeah, okay. Well, Soda, what advice do you have for the people out there that are scared to get out of their comfort zone or don't know how to get out of their comfort zone?
You could create a persona that just doesn't care, but just be careful that they care at least a little bit because like sometimes I'd be hanging on the edge of like I remember this one time. Oh, you disappeared again. I remember
Sorry,
this
I
one time.
received a call. I'm gonna leave. Don't talk. Keep talking, but I'm gonna come back. But I kind of want to hear what you're gonna say. So hold on. I'm coming back.
Okay. Let's see if she comes back. Keep saying we're gonna end, and then we just keep talking. I should probably wrap up. It's a pretty good story, though. I don't blame her for wanting to hear it. Let's see. She doesn't come back soon. I might just. So basically, I was in a time in my life. Oh, there she is. Okay. Okay, so here's the quick version of the story. So after that situation where I was like super depressed and suicidal, whatever, and then I was just like, whatever, I'm just gonna take all sorts of risks. So yeah, I just like I didn't care about things. I was kind of reckless. I'm like, I'll go skydiving, I'll go cliff jumping, I was climbing, I was doing rock climbing. I was on this 50-foot cliff and they with a couple dudes and I had a harness on, but then he had to like change the change or whatever. So I'm like clinging on to this 50-foot tall cliff, like straight down cliff. And like I had no harness, like linked harness or anything. I'm just clinging on with my little fingers to this hook. And I'm just like had this little voice in my head inside my head. It's like, just let go. Just let go. It'll be so fun. I'm like, no, I can't let go. I will die. A very not fun death. But my adrenaline self was like, yeah, yeah, it'll be fun. But yeah, so I needed to make sure not to be, too go outside of my comfort zone of, you know, unaliving myself. um, but little things like I'm just gonna go ask this person out, or I'm gonna like go for this job, even though I've like some funny stories where I just like showed up at a job and pretended I got it, even though I didn't.
But
Like
the question is, how do people get? Because
I just like
when people can't get out of their comfort zone is because they don't have that strength to do what you're saying you should do.
Yeah, and I
So
guess just
how?
thinking, like,
Yeah.
what's the worst that could happen? Like, and as long as it's not,
I
like,
think thinking
a
about that
really
is what
serious.
scares people away. Like, okay, what's the worst that can happen? Oh, I can go to jail. Damn shit. Fuck this.
That's true, but, um, what did I do? What did I do?
Yeah, how did you get to be
I felt like,
fearless?
you know what? I felt like if I died, like, I wanna know that I did everything that I could do to reach my potential. I would think that every day, like, I don't care about my accomplishments, like, it's not about what I did or who I knew, it was, did I put everything in that I could do? And to me, like, if feeling like I had a successful life, like, that's the epitome of being, there and thinking, "I did everything that I could do to be successful." Even if I didn't reach it, I did what I could do. And I think that's what
And
got
that's
me
so
through.
and that's so funny because you know me and Sambaza does our 1 month IG live, which is normally on the last Saturday of the month. But last Saturday of the month is gonna be today, which is Memorial Weekend. So we pushed it to next Thursday, and we're gonna be talking about what success is in podcasting and in life, because we all have this
Mhm.
idea of what success is. But technically, is it really success, or is it what the norm told you that is
Yeah.
success?
I
But
think
I
about
love
that
what
word a
you.
lot, success, since it's part of my podcast name. So,
Yeah, so make sure to be there. But I love what you said, and it's true because at the end of the day, right, when your life is coming to an end and you get those flashbacks,
mhm.
you should know you lived it to your full potential of what
Yeah.
you wanted your life to be, not of what society, what your family, what the community, congregation, whatever made it seem.
Yeah. And that's what saved my life when I was at my worst. I'm like, well, I can't die now because I haven't done everything that I could do to succeed. I might as well just try shit. Like, I might as
Amen.
well give it a
Amen.
shot. And, you know, I'm already at my worst. Like, I mean, I guess it could get worse, but not by much. So might as well. And at least I could say I tried. So anyway, that's the end of my spiel. But
Thank
thanks
you for
again
sharing.
for
Thank you
hanging
for
out.
having me on. This was fun as
This was
always.
fun. We'll do it again.
Yo, we need to do an IG live with Men in Tights to end
Yeah.
the
Julius.
Mehmet. I keep on telling him I don't know your name. I just keep calling you Men in
I just
Tights.
remembered his name because, like, I just listened to the episode with you. So
I thought you said Julian. Why is it Louis?
Julian. Yeah, maybe it is. Yeah, I think
You
it's Julian.
said Louis. I was like, I thought you
No, I
said
said
Julian.
Julius, but I think it's Julian. Julian.
Uh,
One
so
of
make
those.
that happen. I don't know. Sometime next week on IG Live. Let us know.
All right. We'll
Cause
do.
I go with your time whenever you're free and tell me, hey, you wanna do this? I'm always up. So
Yep. Thank you for that.
no, thank you for always thinking about me. Thank you for having conversations with me. Thank you for reaching out for when you need to talk or just. It's funny because 2 days ago when I got that message from you, I felt so bad because it was almost 30 minutes I hadn't seen your message. But I also felt so happy that you thought about talking it with me.
Always. Always.
So I feel like it's a
I have like
testament
5
that
friends
I
that
have
I talk
created
to,
a safe
so.
space for you to feel safe to share whatever the
Aw.
fuck is going on. Also to trust that I will tell you what it is, whether you like it or not.
Yes.
and,
Yeah.
and, and I love how our friendship has gotten to where it is.
Thank
I love you,
you.
baby.
Love you. All right. I'll talk to you later, probably later today or tomorrow.
All right, bye, darling.
All
Thank you for
right.
having
Bye.
me.
All right. How do I